I'd love to get a feeling of what would you guys like to get out of this class. So we're talking about designs and how to run your business through designs. What would be one great thing if you learned it and you would be happy that you attended this class?
Well, first, how about, has everybody been in designs? I think everybody feels good with designs. Does anybody have any questions, anything? Not everybody at once.
We're not afraid of silence.
Oh, sorry.
So,
No, you're good, Jennifer.
yeah, go for it, Jennifer. What do you got?
I've been in designs multiple times. I actually tried to just recently do business cards through designs, but it didn't work for me. Like I had the design set and everything, but then when I tried to go to like, I forget what is it, print order or order print or something, it just never went past that. So I don't know if there was a glitch that day or what. Have you guys seen anything like that? Or
I mean, that's a possibility, but that would be on the print side. I honestly, I use Staples. I don't know about you.
yeah,
Tiffany,
I ended up using Staples.
yeah, that's the way. I just save the design to my gallery, and I would go through a different source.
So you can do that. You can save that design and then have them print that design, and it still looks really good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, perfect. Because the one I got from Staples was, kind of what I was desperate. All right. Well, thank you. I learned something.
There you go.
I was just on a Maps Tech Mastermind at noon, and that was a feature that was just rolled out this week. So you may have clicked on it when it was just starting to roll out. You still need to choose your third-party person.
Okay.
So yeah, because the third party, there's 3 different choices now that they give you, and then you can choose someone else as well.
Oh, great. That's great. Thank you.
Hi,
And
it's
also-
Monique. It's
Oh,
Monique.
sorry.
I have a question.
Hi, Monique.
I recently sent out a postcard, a mailing. Can I just upload that to my designs and then email it out to everyone?
You can upload it as a PDF.
Yep.
And then save it as a JPEG if you're going to email.
Perfect. Yeah, and then I can just do a mass email.
Yep.
Awesome.
And hey, Jennifer, I just wanted to say, when you are going to print something, I would save it when you download it as a PDF, and with high print quality checked off. It's going to make a big difference when you go and bring it to a print shop, and they will definitely appreciate that. And it will come out better. So
Thank you.
yep, no problem.
All right, so it's 101.
Perfect.
You have Juan and I. Just to give you a little idea, I'm out of the Maine Market Center, Keller Williams Realty Maine. I've been with them since 2013, been in the industry for 22 years. And I run the productivity coaching program, and I'm a market center check trader.
Perfect. And I am from the Pioneer Valley area in Mass, and I'm the MCTT. It's been about 2 years that I've been in this position. I've been a realtor for about 3 years, but I've been a tech head all my life. I've had a computer. I was born in '89, and I've had a computer since '93. And so that goes to show you, I'm super techie. But other than that, we are ready to start. Tiffany, do you want to share?
Yep. So we're gonna start with, we're gonna make sure that your marketing profile is correct. Juan is gonna go through the setting up your brand assets and what that looks like, and then we're gonna dive deep into each one of the opportunities with print, social, etc., and then answer any questions you guys have, because the goal is for this to be very interactive with you, because we want you to be able to walk away and say, because I took this class, I was able to do X. So we want it to be interactive. Feel free to raise your hand and interrupt us at any point in time.
Perfect.
So we want to start, and if you've been taking these classes, you have already done this. We want to make sure that our marketing profile is 100% set up. And to find your marketing profile, you just click on your name, go to settings. And you have 2 profiles. You have your referral profile, which is how you get referrals from other Keller Williams agents. And then you have your marketing profile. Your marketing profile lives under here, under Connect Settings, Marketing Profile. You're just going to go through and make sure all the information is accurate. You have it filled out. And then once everything is in here, it will auto-populate based on where you are in the KW command system. Any questions about the marketing profile before we move on to brand assets? All right, Juan, you're up.
All right, give me one. Oh. All right, you guys can hear me now?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, sorry. She just has to mute. All right. Perfect. 1 second, sorry about that. There we go. All right, I apologize for that. All right, guys, so to do your brand assets, right? So your brand assets are, it's kind of like your marketing profile where you store everything. You'll be able to store your images, the color codes for any particular colors that you like to use, kind of like the KW red, all of those stored marketing assets will be found inside of my design. So if you go into designs, click on social, click on one of the plus down here, and it doesn't matter which design you choose. You just want to get into the marketing, the We Brand design editor. So once we're in here, you're going to find your templates here, my designs, and then brand assets. And that's what we're going to go over right now. So the first thing that we have are the color palettes. If you go to KW Connect, you can find what's called the style guide. And when I get done with this section, I will upload it, unless Tiffany, if you have that and you can upload it. If not, I will upload it into the chat and you guys can all download it. That's going to give you all of the color codes, all of the rules with the franchise for the logos. All of that stuff is going to be in that PDF. So we will share that with you. So we'll start with the colors and fonts. So right here where you see the main palette, most of the time, or when you first start, you're just going to have these little circles with plus signs. That means if you click on one of these, it's going to allow you to input a particular color code so you can stay uniform while you're designing. And you don't have to look for these colors because they'll be stored in here. So if you look here, you have like the KW red. So right here, this is the RGB. If you click on this, it'll change with the different formats. So if you are on, let's see here, I believe it's page 31 of the style guide. That's where the color palette's going to be. I like to use the hex codes. And if you just do the hashtag and then CE011F, that's going to put KW red in that spot so that you could use it throughout all of your designs. Okay. Do you guys have any? Yep. Any questions?
How did you get to where you are? You went a little too fast for me.
I'm sorry. All right. Let's, if you go back, we'll start. So if you go into designs and click on social,
yep.
Click on the plus sign and just click next. This, what you need to do, this will take you into the design part.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. No problem. All right. So once you're in the brand assets up here, so if you guys, once you have this PDF, you'll be able to input all of these, and all you're going to do is just keep clicking on these and add them, and it's going to save them for you. Okay. Underneath that, you're going to see the fonts. So if you have any particular fonts that you like to use, if you have your own logo and you have those fonts that you've saved, whoever created your logo should have given you the fonts that they use. And again, to keep that uniformity going through, you can add fonts here. If you click on web fonts right here, it's going to allow you to search the web for different fonts. And you can go on here and you just have to check these off and it will add them to your commonly used fonts. But you can also search for fonts up here and it'll find the different fonts and then you can add them to your library or your assets. All right, next thing is your logos. Logos, again, these are frequently used logos. If your market center has their own DBA logo with like Pioneer Valley or whichever your market center is, you can upload these. So if you go over here on the top right, you can click on upload and then click browse, and then you'll be able to go into your computer. What I suggest all my agents when I'm onboarding them is to have a folder that'll have all of anything KW in one folder, so you can easily find all of these. So I created for my market center a Pioneer Valley Essentials logo pack. And what I did was I grabbed all of the logos, all the PNGs, including the JPEGs as well, but I put the PNGs separate so that when you go in here, it's going to have all the logos that you need without a background. So a PNG, does everybody does everybody understand what PNGs are? Okay, so PNG files, they preserve the how do I say it? The transparency. So there's no white background. So, have you seen, people do marketing pieces and they add a logo, it has like a white background to it? It's because they're using a JPEG. So we want to use is a PNG version, and then that will not have that square around it. So if you get the PNG versions of whatever logo, your team's logo, or if you have a personal logo, just upload those in here and hit upload. It's going to upload all of those in there so that once we're inside of the actual designs canvas, we'll be able to access all of these different logos. Does everybody feel good with that?
Ron, I have a question.
Yes, Joyce. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the fonts. Are there a particular one that we're supposed to use?
Say that again.
For the fonts, the FONTS, is there a specific one that we're supposed to use?
No, you can, if you're using some, like, let's say you have a logo yourself that they've used a particular font that you want to commonly use throughout your designs, then you can upload those in there. But there's not any that, you're supposed to use. You make it, you're tailoring it so that the uniformity keeps going on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I have one question too.
Yep.
When you create your file, you can't do it in Command, right? You do it on another part on your computer for the PNG files?
Yeah, so PNGs, the easiest, you can do them in Command, but typically you would do that like in Photoshop, if you use Photoshop or any other of the other editors, even Canva, if you use Canva, there is an option to export with a PNG so that there's no background to it. Okay. All right, so that'll be the logos part. Next part here is the smart text. Smart text, this is, again, frequently used, frequently used text. If you're like the app, I would add your app in here, your app code, so that when you go into the smart text, you'll find the app code. I used to have a tagline when I was doing some open houses. I used to always say, hey, I got the brownies. So instead of having to type out, I got the brownies, I create a new tagline, and I input those in there, and then I could just click on them, and it all makes sense once we get inside of designs, and Tiffany will go over that. But to add a new field here, if you click new field, right here, you see it actually gives you a ton of preloaded things. So if you're adding a website, just type in the website, www.com, and that'll save it in there. So if I ever need to put that in there, I'm just going to click on the actual widget, and it'll put it right inside of the canvas. Okay. All right. Any questions in this section?
Yes, when I'll look at the fonts, can you preview them before adding them?
Good question. I believe you can.
How they're written out is what the fonts look like. So what
That's
you see on that screen right now
Yep.
is what that specific font looks like.
Yeah, so when you check it off, you see how it changes?
Okay,
Yeah. That's a good question, though. And thank you, Tiffany, because I was not 100% sure on that one. All right, so next one are going to be your images. Images as well. What I use it for is my headshot so that I can, I can keep and store all of my headshots in here. And I personally, again, I use the PNG versions because it incorporates nicely into your designs without having that background. I mean, if you want to have one with a background, you can definitely do that. And again, it's the same thing. Just hit the upload button, click the browse. And like I said, I have a folder here, like headshots, and we can find the different images here, JPEGs or PNGs.
The
Any
other
questions?
opportunity under images is each one of us live in a regionally different looking region. So a
Mhm.
lot of the photos that are on the assets that are in the designs are based out of Texas or bigger cities. You can actually add, so like I'm from Maine, I can add all of the New England, Maine-based photos in here. So when I'm building out my listing presentation or any of my pieces, instead of having to go to Google search and upload, I'll have a bunch of different images living here that I'm going to use that are specific to our area, not necessarily Texas.
Yep, there you go. Any questions in this section, guys?
Just Tiffany, so thanks for the description of the technical area, but for searching for the photos for the northeast, you just do that on Google for anything.
Yeah, I search non-copyrighted. Do you want to pull up Google real fast? Do you know how to do? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You go
Yeah, I
into
know how to-
Google.
Oh.
No, we're good. Let's go to Google.
If you go into Google, you have the opportunity to pull up images. What you want to be careful of is that the images that you pull are not copyrighted.
Okay.
So there are commercial use, there are all kinds of different, and some of us have our own images, right? So if you go to settings and in this,
Is search settings or advanced search?
I think it's advanced. I think it's actually more. If you go back and click more. Nope. Now it's,
Search settings, maybe.
if not, it's, go back. I think it's the next one over. Tools.
On tools, usage
So now
rights.
this is usage rights. So
Yep.
Creative Common license, commercial and other licenses. So when you choose this, if they don't want you using it, it will be removed when you use Creative Common license.
Yeah.
So be sure you're not using copyrighted images if you're taking
Yes,
it off
for
the
sure.
internet.
And there's a lot of other websites, like you could use Bing. Bing has the same thing. Flickr is another one that you can search by Creative Commons licenses. Okay.
Great, thank you.
All right, perfect. You're
Thanks.
welcome. All right, so next one is the elements section. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have never used the elements section. I know the whole point of this is for it's really clip art. I think it has a great selection of clip art. I don't have any personal clip art, but in here you can upload. Tiffany, do you have any input on that?
I don't really use them.
Yeah.
I mean, what I see a lot of agents have like the under contract circle, or the buyer representation circle or the listing circle. That's where I would put these. If you have some graphics that you've had someone design for them, put them in under elements.
Gotcha. All right. So we're gonna go over to videos. I know video is still being rolled out. Right now, I keep this video in there. If you go up here, I believe the only thing you could do is YouTube links. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tiffany, but yeah. So just YouTube links, just go to YouTube, copy the link and put it here. And it's just an easy way to be able to access any videos. And like I said, I use for KW, like the 66-day challenge. All right. And then files, again, if you want to store any files, any PDFs, anything like that, you can store those in here. Like here, I have the style guide. But same thing, click the upload button, click the browse, and you are good to go. And that pretty much covers all of brand assets. You guys have any questions? I can jump back to any section or we're good to go.
And when you look at the video section, keep in mind, like a lot of us do those quick 30-second commercials on why use me, or if you're doing a market update, that's where, like, so you can do an August, September, October, November, every month you can do a market update. You could add that right in here. And that way, instead of having to go to your computer and find it, it's just right here in the spot. If you have, you know, what is this competitive market analysis video? That's where I would put all this stuff.
Perfect.
Could you do logos one more time?
Yeah. What questions do you have on logos?
I guess you downloaded them or you uploaded them. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yep. No worries. So if you go here, if you go up to the upload button on the top right and click browse, this will allow you to browse your computer. But if you have Google Drive connected or Dropbox or any other like online cloud service, you can also access those. But if you click browse, all you're going to do is you're going to look in your computer for the logo, and then you simply just click on it, hit open, and it's going to preview it here for you. And then you're just going to hit upload and it'll upload it right in here. And then again, like I said, I'll show you or Tiffany and I will show you once we're in the design, how you're going to easily access these at all times. But does that answer your question?
But I have to have it downloaded on my computer in order to upload it, correct?
Right. And your market center should be, your MCTT or agent services should be able to provide that to you.
Yeah.
If you don't already have it.
Yeah, so like this is what I provide all my agents. I have one that has all of our logos, the PNG versions. And then also, it's, if I go to the complete set, this is the complete set that you guys can download. This is right next to the style guide in KW Connect in the technology section. So all of these will have all the different types of formats, and you can find those logos in there as well. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I did put the style guide into the chat box. All you have to do is download it to your computer, save it where you'll remember where it is, and you can access it at any time.
Sounds good. All right, let me stop my sharing, and it's all yours, Tiffany.
Awesome. Any questions about what we've gone over so far? Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. So now we're on the home screen, right? If you can design this home screen however you want. I always leave my design updates at the very top because I want to know what's new in designs.
Yep.
So if I go ahead and I click into this box, it'll give me a preview of what's new that they put out there. There's also a second place you can find the new designs. If you click the red KW, it'll give you the name of each one of your applets. And when you go down here to designs, now you have the ability. When you look at this screen, some of you will see nothing. Some of you will see a few things. What shows up in the immediate screen is your personal designs, what you've created, okay? If you want, so emails, these are the emails I created. These are the socials that I created, the print, and then the videos that I created, okay? When I hit this plus button, this is where I find all of the graphics and the designs that are provided to us by our market center, the region, and by Keller Williams Realty International. So when I click this, now I'm going to say, okay, what do I want to look at? Do I want to do the email designs, the social designs, print designs, or videos? So depending on what you're building out is where you're going to go. So let's just say we're going to do a social design. Okay, I click on that. I hit next. Wait patiently. My kids are in school right now, so I apologize for the delay. We know how internet is with everybody working from home. So when you hop in here, these are the different designs. So the first one is the KW app. You have social squares. I just got to shrink my screen down. There we go. So these are all the different designs that are provided by International, okay? So if I wanted to market my app, I would go here. If I wanted to market my listings, these are all the options for listings, buyers. If I was doing lead generation, business basics, email signatures, social branding, leadership, that you guys, unless you're on leadership, you wouldn't have that. Professional services, this is luxury. Everyone now has access to luxury and can use the luxury brand as long as the, I think New England is 700,000. And then down here again is all the new designs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click on the new designs. So I want you to see these designs are very relevant to what's going on currently. So for example, Cinco de Mayo is next week. If you wanted to send out a social graphic about that, here's an option to do it. Memorial Day, you know, Mother's Day. So depending on what you're looking to do, you're going to pull what it is. So let's just say we want to do some lead generation, okay? And let's just say we want to do expert advice. So now if I wanted to use this as a social, as a brand, I just click the use. And just like Juan said, when you have your brand assets set up, it's very simple to do this, because all you're going to do at this point is you're going to go ahead and you're going to change your DB. So I delete this, right? And I highlight it and then delete it. Maybe. The screen is too large. It doesn't want to cooperate when it's that large. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this. For some reason, it's not letting me do what I want to do. I may have you hop on one if I can't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's switch it out, because for some reason I'm not seeing what I want to see.
Yeah, no worries. Give me 1 second. All right, where were we?
You can go anywhere, because regardless of what you're looking to do,
Yep.
You're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, so we'll jump in here. Oops. Is something, I don't know if something's going on, because
We love when we teach live and they do updates.
right? Yeah, it's got to be it, because I was just in it.
Yeah.
This is a template. Let me
Try
click on
something
it.
different.
Yeah, let's go back. We apologize for this, guys. 1 second. Let's go email signatures really quick. Okay, so it could just be that one that you were in.
There we go.
Yeah.
So now this one here, this is an email signature, right? So go ahead and just, we need to put our logo on there.
Yep.
We need to add our first name.
Yeah, I'll take, yeah. All right, so like we already went through the assets. Now this is where it's all gonna make sense. So let's say we're going to create an email signature. If you need to replace an image, just delete the image, right? And it's gonna leave a placeholder in it. So that way you can keep the template. And then now I'll pop over here and I'll, when you hover over an image, it'll give you use image. If you click use image, it's just going to, if it's highlighted, it's going to use the image. Sometimes it comes out a little blurry like that. So what I like to do is I just like to use the image, let it load. So whenever it's flashing like that, that just means it's loading. They could definitely be doing updates right now because the picture is blurry. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Can you check on your side, Tiffany, if you're having this problem?
Yeah, and for the sake of it, even if it's blurry, let's just go
Yeah.
through the process.
So if this was loading perfectly, it would be nice and crisp and clear. So you can put your picture there. Then if you need to edit any text, what I tell all my agents are it's the best way to not change the template at all. And I'm gonna run out of battery here. Sorry, guys. We're really on a roll today. Hold on, guys. All right, we're good. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so to not change the template whatsoever, I just click on the text and I use the typewriter function. A lot of people don't know about this function. It used to look like a half open candy bar. Now it's all like completely square, but it's the typewriter. If you go in here, just replace it. So now I can just type in one, auto, and then hit save changes. And even if the constraint box, which this is the constraint box, the blue box that you see, all you got to do is just widen it out if the font's a little bit bigger. But again, that way it avoids you from having to move it. So any questions on any of that? So, all right. So
I have a question.
Yes, Joyce.
So when you do your email, where does it go to? Your I mean, when you make this up, where does it go?
So when you make this and you finish, that's a whole nother class.
Okay.
We would be downloading it and then uploading it. Reach out to your MCTT and they will be able to show you, or they'll have a video for you to be able to upload it into Google, okay? Into your Gmail, all right?
Okay, thank you.
If we have
Alright, so
time, we'll
here's-
walk you through it too.
What's that?
If we have time, we'll walk you through it.
Yeah, yep.
Excuse me, what was this design called?
Thank you.
Email signatures.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. So you're just gonna go throughout the whole thing, and like I said, just use the typewriter, and all you gotta do is replace whatever you gotta replace, right? Oops. And I personally do not use office phone numbers because I like the phone calls to come back to me. And you can make all of these changes. If you want to move something, just drag and drop. It's very simple, however you want this to be. Let's see here. All these logos as well. If you want to get any of these logos, again, this is where the assets come into play. If you go into icons, they are going to have a ton of different assets. And like if you need a logo for like a website or the phone, Tiffany, do you know where these logos? I know we have these right inside of here.
They're
inside of here
Yeah.
somewhere.
and it defaults to it. It defaults to it for you, so you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, you won't
One
have to.
click thing.
Yeah. Let's see what else we can show you here.
So one question was, can you walk me through how to, so let's go back to the design library and just walk through how you found that.
Found the actual design.
Yeah, the email design.
Gotcha.
It's under business basics.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do
All
for
right,
the
so if you're back
logo,
in,
sorry, Jennifer, what I would do to find the Realtor
No, no,
logo is just, you can get it from the internet and then put it in your brand assets.
yeah, and find a PNG version of it. Because again, then it won't have that square around it if it's not a perfectly, cut out image, and then it'll incorporate with the image. So if you go to business basics, email signatures, this is where you're gonna find business cards, email signatures, letterheads, and social branding. So the templates that you have in here all depend on what you click. So if you click on social, then you're gonna have different ones. If you click on print, you will have different templates as well. So keep that in mind when you're going into the templates, okay? So if you're on social or print, if you're on social, you'll find these. All right, did you want to show them anything else in?
Let's show them the design. So I'll take over sharing if you're cool with it. So some of you have heard that we now have a magazine that you can either print or you can send via digitally. And one thing, when we had done a survey of agents, or KWNE, not me personally, had done a survey of agents, they found that people wanted to have a ability to print a newsletter and not spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on it. So what was created, and I just have to get back there, was what we call design, which is the printed magazine. I'm just going to go into a new screen and start over. It'll be faster. So if again, click the red KW, find the applet you want, go into designs, hit the plus button. And our new magazine, which will be out there, it's scheduled to be out the 3rd week of May for the 2nd quarter. You're gonna go into KW, go into print, and then under lead generation, you're gonna see personally branded design. So where I am is I went into command, went into designs, went into print, and now I'm under lead generation. So when I click on this, this is the 1st quarter. I click use. And I have the ability, and this came out for the new year. So this was based on 1st quarter content. These are all of the different content that was created by Keller Williams Realty. This is all copyrighted, so you can't change the content and you don't have to use it. In order to use the pages, you just hit the plus button for every page that you want to add. So I'm just going to go through, I'm going to add the pages that I want. And then after I add the pages.
And if you guys have, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yep. No, I was just saying, if you guys have done any listing presentations or buyer presentations, it's the same format. You're just adding the pages to it. And then on the bottom, and Tiffany will show you now where the pages are, where you can rearrange the layout. So if you're accustomed to the listing or buyer presentations, it's practically the same thing.
Yeah. And
Yep.
depending on, like, obviously the more pages you add to the magazine, the more you're going to pay for it. So depending on what your cost structure is, you're going to decide, do I want to do 1 article or do I want to do 2 articles? Do I want to do 1 call to action or a couple of different call to actions? Do I want to do a month in review or do I not want to do a month in review, right? And let's just say you wanted to send this magazine out monthly. So you would turn around and you could do a new beginning page, a new note, and instead of doing year in review, you would do month in review and then put the statistics, right? So you have the ability to just play with this a little bit and manipulate it to the way you want it. The one thing I always tell people, make sure you title it, right? So let's just say I had a geographical farm and I wouldn't send this out monthly. I would put that this is my May design newsletter, okay? And then same thing that Juan showed you earlier, you just go in, you add the typewriter, and you make the changes that you want to make, okay? What you can't change in this is the copyrighted paperwork, the copyrighted pages. So this here, you can't change any of this content, or you're not supposed to be able to. Yeah, so no, you can't. You notice how that typewriter bar is not able to be, so you're not able to make this change, but it's well-written content from an editor, okay? You're gonna add your photo by going in and pulling your brand assets, right? So my images, my asset, this is an old photo. I can add the photo. So whatever you desire to change on here, again, add the typewriter, change the comments and the information on here. And then you have the ability to order it, or you can download it, right? So I'm going to discard this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to hit the download button. Where a lot of agents get stuck is it automatically defaults to get JPEG, get PNG, or get a PDF. We want to get a PDF. We want to do all of the pages, and we want to make it high resolution. So if you had a local printer that you were sending this to, you're going to go ahead and just start download, and it's going to download to your computer. If you wanted to get a PNG of just a certain page, you would go ahead and do that as well. Let's say you don't want to work the expense of printing this out and sending this out. You can actually share it and get a URL address specific to this design. So if I copy this URL address, I can use it to share in an email, via Facebook direct messenger, if I wanted to send it via text message, this is that link to do that, okay? Same thing with if I wanted to share it on Facebook, etc. Again, make sure you change it from this design to this project. When you change it to the project, it's the entire magazine, not just that one page. And I see a bunch of people in the chat, so I'm going to stop share just to answer questions.
Yeah, we just got a question. What is any idea on cost per page? I have not personally printed one. Do you know, Tiffany?
I've seen it as cheap as like 79 cents a page. Like
Okay.
I've seen people do it for like $1, and it just really depends on who you're using it through. If you go through
Okay.
Staples, it's 22 cents a page.
Okay.
And then it's whatever the cost is for making it a booklet.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the booklet right now and it looks like a 10 select number of copies. So it's saying $1.17 per copy if you
Yeah,
do
that's
10.
about right. And then whatever the cost for the mailing. So the printing is $1.17, and then the mailing is a separate price.
Yeah,
And you
and
can
yeah.
do all of that.
Yeah, and you have to take into consideration all the different features. Like if you add, like they have silky, which would be glossy, like at Staples. So the more you add, the more cost per page. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you shorten the link with a bit.ly? Absolutely. We do it all the time.
Yes.
And then I wouldn't necessarily send it out as a PDF. I would send it out as a URL link. And I would use it as a text link more than an email link right now, because emails are starting to go into, people are getting away from email because there's just so much email being sent out. If you send a text, they're more likely to open it. Any questions over on what we went over so far? So Mary, I'm going to do that one more time. So when you go in, you go under designs, you hit the plus button, you have to be under print. When you click on print, you hit next. It does not show up under social or any of the others. However, you can use it socially. When you pull print, then you click on lead generation. It's the very last one, personally branded design. And it lives right here. And again, remember, this is the one from first quarter. However, the second quarter one will be out in probably third week of May.
Sorry, can I ask when will it be released again? Which day
I
in
think it's
May?
the third week of May.
Third week of May. Okay, thank
That's
you.
what I believe. That's what we're being told. We're hoping it's sooner. A lot of agents, I know they have it because I've seen a proof of it. I think it's just the logistics of getting it into the system.
Yeah, and Carmela, if you have the design update widget on your command dashboard and you make sure that it's up top, you always see, when something new comes up. And that's probably the reason, Tiffany, that's why we all do it, because it will just keep up to date with any of the new designs.
Okay, thanks.
You're
How do
welcome.
you delete pages? She's asking.
How do you delete a page?
I'll go in really quickly.
You'll go in?
So when you're
Okay.
done, yeah. I just wait for the little bar to go up and then
Yep.
I'm gonna go to one of the others. So when you click on the page, you can lift this up. And then you have the ability, if I wanted to delete this page.
The little check. Yeah, the little check mark or the little the little arrow.
Oh yeah, sorry, thanks.
Yep.
And then here's a trash can.
Yep.
You can also duplicate it. So let's say you like the layout of this page, but you want to put different content on it. You can duplicate it and make it a second page.
Yep.
And then if I wanted to trash that page, I just hit the trash. Yes, I want to delete it.
Yeah. And you can always rearrange the pages in there too. You just drag and drop. Yeah, just like that.
Excuse me, Tiffany, at the beginning you said we can't change it because it's copywritten. So what did you mean by
This
that?
right here, the article itself. So there are pages that you can absolutely edit.
Okay.
This page here is an article that was written by a third party that is copyrighted. You
Okay.
may not change this page. However, you can change this page.
Okay.
So this here is, you know, I can go in here and change anything on this. Any of the art, and you don't have to include, let's just say I want to create my own articles. You can go ahead and do that as well.
Okay.
So here's a
So-
blank page. You can start from scratch.
We enter our own market stats. That's not something that's already preloaded.
You enter your own market stats.
Correct.
Thanks.
What other questions do you guys have?
So I have a,
I lost you. Go ahead, try again, Jennifer. There's some background noise. You're muted. There we go.
okay, so we have to design and then plus a sign and then select the print. And then we select a pre-select brand, but before pre-select brand, what is another one? I missed that one. We select the print, what is the next one?
It is, so it's a pre-selected design, yes.
Pre-select design, okay.
You're on mute, Jennifer.
Yeah, there's something with your microphone. It's a little weird.
Yeah. If you're using an external mic, make sure that's plugged in all the way. It kind of sounds like the mic might be unplugged.
Yeah. And also feel free to put it in the chat if that's easier.
Yeah. Yeah, you can text it. I'm looking at the chat, so.
Yeah. What other questions based on what we shared with you right now?
Or is there anything that you guys want us to jump back into? We can run through something else.
They can't hear me, so.
Yep.
What I was gonna ask is, like say in a postcard in that area, can we just do a mock postcard? Make it to where it would be something we would want to send out tomorrow. Put a logo in, put somebody's face in, put some content in.
So does that-
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can, yep. Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So essentially what you would do is one of two things. If you have that postcard that you created externally through a third party, you can upload it into Designs, or you can create it in Designs. And then you would go into Campaigns and you would do the mail out through Campaigns.
Yeah. Karen has her hand up. Karen?
Hi, how do you add a page from another listing presentation to one that you're working on in Designs? Can you take a page from another presentation?
Yep.
So that goes back to what Juan had showed us with the brand assets. Let's just say you have a listing presentation that you used 5 years ago, one specific page that you like, you would upload that PDF, or you could screenshot the JPEGs, and you can make the JPEGs and then add it so that the design is similar.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and that would be duplicating a page. So a perfect example of that is a lot of us use the triangle that shows if you list a house at market value, you get 60% of the buyers. If it's 10% above, that's not in this design. However, we've taken that JPEG, created a duplicate page, and used it in the brand.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks very much.
So we have about 10 minutes left. If you don't walk away from a class with the action items, then it's just a training class. So I would love to, based on what we did, I would love to hear, what are you going to do with your business plan and designs to grow your business? What calls to actions are you going to use? What are you going to do? What ahas did you get? And how are you going to grow your business based on what we shared with you today?
Karen has her hand up. We do have 2 questions, Tiffany. Karen, did you? Oh, she had
Yeah, I just loaded. You guys
Okay,
answered
no
my
problem.
question. And that's what I plan to do. I already have a listing presentation, but there's a page from another listing presentation that I want to add to my current listing presentation. I wasn't sure how to do that, but that makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yep.
Thanks.
Can you
Nope.
review? Yeah, I'll review adding to the email. And then is this kind of meant to be the KW version? Absolutely.
Yep.
Can you create designs from scratch as well? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you can start with a blank canvas, or, go into one of the, whatever you're trying to create. If it's a business card, you want to create a business card from scratch, just start with a template and just delete everything, and you can start from scratch. And Megan has her hand up.
Yeah, I just asked that question, and then I was just wondering, like, say you're doing like a 3-page document and you like one page from a template, but then you wanted to design some extra pages on your own. Can you do like add page and add blank pages?
Yeah.
Yep, you can add blank pages. Yeah. Typically, a lot of people actually have a blank page when they first start. We'll see it here when she opens this up. But if you just hit the plus sign, it will add a blank page to it.
Yeah. So if I bring this up, this plus bar, this adds as many pages as I want.
Yep.
So you can build from scratch, right? And now I'm going to turn around and I don't want that first page. Well, actually, I already deleted. So now I just have 2 blank pages right here, and I can start from scratch and build anything I want. And then the other item, there was something else that I wanted to show in here that I distracted, but why I remember what that was.
Yep.
So, you go into your email, okay? And then right here is that little wheel. So you go to settings, see all settings. And you're gonna scroll all the way down to signature.
Yep.
And then right here is insert an image. You're gonna download the image that you created in KW, and then you're just gonna upload it right here. You're gonna search for it on your computer and upload it. Select a file. And if you have more questions on that, your MCTT can absolutely help you, but I can add any of my JPEGs, I can add right from here.
And then just make sure when she's done here, make sure to scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Yes.
And there's a save changes. And a lot of people forget that, and they do the change and then they don't click the save change. So you end up not saving that. So make sure.
And the other thing too is you can actually just, like, this here is my image. Do I want it small, medium, large, or original size, or do I want to remove it? Like if I were to do original size, it doesn't make sense. Large doesn't make sense. I like the medium version. So that's why that's an option that you can do as well.
If you can show them the signature defaults, that's another one. So if you already have a signature and you've been using one, right underneath where it says signature defaults, it says for new emails use. If you click on that, you'll make sure that you change it. So if you have multiple saved in the signature, you can choose the one that you're going to use moving forward. So that's another reason why you may not see the change if that doesn't change.
Yeah, and not to go on the world of Google, but I have signatures for clients, and then I have signatures for when I'm prospecting. So that's a great little tool, and it goes back to if you wanted to add your website and your app and all that stuff, it gives you an opportunity to do that as well.
Yep.
Jennifer, do you know where the listing or buyer presentation is? You're muted.
I never do the listing presentation yet, so I want to learn how to make a listing presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, so by using command and then watch the many times, but I'm not very familiar. I want to just really upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah. So in command, it's under print.
Right.
And same thing, you can play with it as much or as little as you want, right?
Right.
And Tiffany, if I may, Jennifer, you can, the 66-day challenge, even if you go back to the 66-day challenge 3.0, you can learn a lot from watching those videos. Those videos are very focused, and they'll get right to the point, and they'll show you exactly how to do them. And then you can stop, pause and rewind whenever you need to.
Absolutely. Okay. So you hit the plus button again. I'm going to go to print. And then when I go to print, you're going to see, and it's the same thing it's same process as the design. So I go to listing and I go listing presentation. Here's the one caveat. I love black. That's my favorite. You know, however, to print black, it takes a lot of ink. So if you're going to print this presentation, choose one of the ones that don't use as much ink. And then you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to hit use. You're going to choose your pages you want. You're going to add pages. You have the ability to do whatever you want with it. But this is what that looks like.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So let's put in the chat box, what one action are you going to take this week in designs?
Joanne has her hand up.
All right, Joanne.
We can get
While
to-
Joanne's talking, let's put that in the chat box.
Yep.
I just have a question. Juan, you said, is it easier to use for logos, the PNG or JPEG?
PNG. So the PNG is going to preserve that transparency. So when you incorporate it to any image, any template, it's going to sit nicely and it will, it'll just look very, much more appealing as it doesn't have like a white background or a black background. So a PNG version for all logos. I only save logos in PNG version because if I need a white background, I can just add it. So yeah, PNG.
And I'm sorry, I've been asking that on the chat. The
That's okay.
YouTube, what's the name for the YouTube recording?
For this recording?
Oh, for the series.
Oh, for the series, it's 66-day challenge. It's by Marty Miller. If you just search Marty Miller, you'll see they're up to 4.0 right now. He's up to 4.0. He has some other smaller tech series, but the 66-day challenge will run you through, all of this, and they'll go into it a little bit more in depth. And then I don't know. Nick Baldwin has some good videos. Lori Ballin is another good person to look for videos, and Jay Shermack. He has some really good videos, training extraordinaire. Tiffany, do you have any other videos or are
No,
those?
they pretty much named them. And take
Yeah.
advantage of your market center. I mean, most of us have a great MCTT or a great temp committee that can walk you through this as well.
Yep.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Since we have neighborhoods and we have information out of our neighborhoods, is there any way that, I think there was a question earlier that someone had asked about the market information to put on say, like one specific sheet, if you were to go door to door, if you were to just send out a mailer, that particular neighborhood with your logo on it, your face on it, and then that just market information. Is that something we can download from a specific contact or just a specific area that can all happen in command without us going outside, outside?
Yep. Tiffany, if you can take this one, because I know we used to be able to search through KWLS. Let me actually, give me 1 second. I will, and that's my schedule. Or go to command really quick.
Well, and the other piece of it, you can actually take a JPEG from a market snap
Yep.
and you can throw it into.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna actually look, because I know you can access, give me 1 second here. Let me just jump into. I know under KWLS. Let's just go into any of these. And I think that's what you're talking about, the snap, right? The snapshots here. So under KWLS, if you go into the snapshots and search, let's just go. Yes, this should have. Is this what you're thinking too, Tiffany?
Yeah, I mean, this is to the extent of what the system itself will build out. If you wanted, like we pull raw data up here in Maine that we share with our agents, and I would actually create a JPEG or a PNG or whatever with that data that we share, and then add it to the document.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because this is based on what KWLS is providing. I like to base it on what the MLS is providing.
Yeah. So you can, so MLS, you can get that market data from MLS and create a JPEG, and then you upload that through the images section. So,
or you can do what Juan did if you want it fast.
Yeah, this is going to be the fastest way to do it. So for everybody that didn't see that, so when you're in here, just go to KWLS down on the bottom here. And then it's going to come up as listings. You're not going to search for a listing. You're going to click snapshots. and then you're gonna search for the neighborhood name or postal code. And so what I would do is, like if I do Westfield, Mass, right? It's gonna give me all of the Westfields. So if you know the neighborhood name, then you can search for it. If not, let's just do Westfield postal code. It should pull it up. There you go. So 01085, and it's going to give me that whole entire area. So it'll give you these very quick market snapshots. Okay. All righty. So you good with that? Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions that we can answer for you? Did you find this helpful?
Yes. Did everybody find it helpful?
Yes.
Perfect. I love the nods.
Did you
Yeah.
go over the email? What specifically about the email?
What?
Amanda. I'm trying to find her on my screen.
You can unmute yourself, Amanda, by holding down the space bar while you're talking. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie option.
A little loud just a second ago.
No
Just
worries.
what you created earlier, the magazine, as an email or sending out it as a
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time. So essentially, let me just find. Gotta wait for the bar to go back up. Wrong one. So I'm going to use this. And just to make this quick, I'm only going to add one page. So I'm just going to add this page. When you hit this down, well, when you hit the share button, click on share. And this design is this specific page alone. The project is all the pages together. This is that URL address, and you're just going to use it to email it out. If your account is connected to your Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, you can click on one of these and you can go ahead and do that as well.
Do you want to, Tiffany, do you want to copy the project link and just paste it in the URL or in the browser, and then they can see what it's going to look like?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
So in the email, you would just post the link. It would just be the link, and then it would just be a blank page. Like they would open up the email and it would just be the link.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever you write in there for them, whatever your call to action is.
Yeah, it just gives them a nice view. So like this is the viewer for the magazine, so that they can see it nicely.
So you can make that a page, put the link maybe underneath the title or something like that.
Yeah, make like a big button that'll say click here to see the whole entire magazine. Something like that, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and Nicole, there is a smart plan to send out the magazine if you go into it. I mean, a lot of people have gone where you're gone before. So if you spend a little bit of time in campaigns, you're going to find a lot of what you need. The only reason I would do, copy and paste is if I'm sending it directly from my email and not through a smart plan. All right, guys, it's 2:01. I want to honor your time.
Thank you,
If
guys.
there's anything you guys need, just give us a holler.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.